Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, and this is the Battle of Chantilly on the No Infantry Campaign Challenge for Ultimate General Civil War on the Confederate side. And just a couple of real quick things before I dive into this battle today. Number one, I am playing on the J&P Rebalance mod, for those of you who have asked, and I do have a video coming that'll show you how to install that mod if you want to use it. Number two, a lot of you comment and say, oh man, I wish more people were watching this channel. I wish you were more popular. There's a way you can help with that. If you will like this video, if you will leave a comment, and if you haven't already, if you'll subscribe and hit that notification button, that little bell, so that you'll get notifications whenever I upload a new video, those things will all help with getting more views and therefore more people involved in this channel. So if you haven't seen the previous episodes of this campaign, there's a link in the description below for that. So one of the things that people asked about was the perk system on J&P Rebalance mod. And for example, in the Battle of Second Bull Run, how recon helped me to be able to see so far. So I haven't put in my career points yet for this battle, so let's take a look at this real quick. Recon right now I'm at 6. And when I get to the next level, you can see I'm going to have full info about unit status, partial info about unit attributes, and a plus 300 spotting. That spotting number is what allows me to see so far. And I think I might be at 200 right now, but I'm not 100% sure that's where we're at. Logistics has to do with ammo, shop stock multiplier, artillery shop stock multiplier. Army organization, of course, increases the number of corps, number of divisions, number of brigades per division, and the max brigade size. I'm not too worried about that right now because I'm keeping my numbers small anyway. Training reduces the cost of veteran recruits and gives a bonus to the recruit stats. When you look at the average recruits, right now I've got 70,000 of them sitting there. They come in at a certain level. The higher those stats are, the less of a hit I take when getting rookie recruits versus veterans. So that certainly helps with that. Medicine, which I haven't done anything with yet, is going to restore a certain level. Just because I had no real trouble with money or with weaponry or with recruits, I haven't worried too much about medicine. Economy gives me a discount to what I'm buying, and of course politics gives me more gold and more recruits, which again, not a huge deal for me right now. So I think for the time being, these points are going to go into logistics, and then probably go ahead and put one more into economy. With that said, I've got a lot sitting right now in the armory that I could turn around and sell if I so choose. I'm not going to use these muskets, for example, or even the percussion muskets. So those are some things I can sell pretty easily. Reboard muskets, same thing. I'm not using any of those. They're not making me a lot of money, but they're also not helping me just sitting there. So there's a lot of little things here that I could buy up when the time comes, but I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. Artillery, on the other hand, I did get some more 24-pounders that we're going to go ahead and gobble up right now. Same thing with these 10-pounders. I also spent some reputation points on these 4.5-inch siege guns, which I think I will make use of when we get to Antietam, but probably not quite yet. And I've got a ton of weapons sitting there right now, but I think I've got what I need. So here's what my army's going to look like. 15 brigades I get to take into this one. I'm taking both my sharpshooter units. I am taking quite a bit of artillery, including my 24-pounders right here. My two 1,500-man melee cav units, and I think that's going to make for a pretty good mix going into this battle. Okay, so I don't get my full army to start, so I've chosen to go with a strategy of defending just one objective until I get the rest of my forces, and by then I should have weakened his army to the point where it should be pretty easy to hold it. I've got both of my sharpshooter units, and I'm going to hold them back and then wait to see where he is before I get myself into position. It looks like we've got fortifications here, though I'm not entirely sure. Oh, and just like that, I get the rest of the troops. Okay, so that was kind of worthless. So I still think I'll hold up in one spot, at least to start out. And then just kind of deal with the rest as we go. And I can already kind of see him. Oh, hello. So we'll go ahead and pursue that guy a little bit. I'm going to hold my melee cav back here for now, at least till I get everybody into position. And I do have the siege guns. I went back and made a little change to the makeup of my army. That's Fitzhugh right here. I just want to see how they do. I gotta get these skirmishers the heck out of my rear. I'll go ahead and leave these 10-pounders here for now. You know what? Easy way to deal with the skirmishers. Now we just wait for the enemy. Who right now only consists of about 3,300 men. So really, there's no reason I guess I couldn't just push down and take this objective back. Now here come the rest. And I can pretty much see all of them, even all the way back here. Alright, he's sending more units over that way, so I'm going to want to be prepared for that. Did I? I didn't take him out, did I? Okay. No, they're still over there. Seems like a pretty good spot to sit tight for now. We've got 3.5 hours. See how these siege guns do. Alright, we'll pull the Rough Riders back. We'll just set them right behind these guys. I gotta actually see what happens to these skirmishers so they don't disappear. Okay, perfect. To rout them off the field. Gotta be careful here. He's trying to flank me. Alright, let's get the skirmish. Keep the sharpshooters over there. He's pretty spread out, but his main attack's coming right here in the center. Oh my gosh. So Cable might get lit up here, but that's gonna put these guys into the field of fire for my guns. Alright, so far, I've already inflicted over 4,000 casualties. I have lost 95 men. Seems So you can see as this gets further and further along and these guys get leveled up. Oop, bumped into something there. As these guys get leveled up and they get more and more experience, especially once they get to 2 and even 3 stars, it just becomes more and more one-sided because I just have such superior weaponry and skill as compared to the enemy, who still has a lot of 0 and 1-star troops. So we're going to need to get ourselves up to Major General as quickly as possible, which I'll do after Antietam. Let's move these sharpshooters up a little bit. You know, let the siege guns start hitting Morrison when he gets in range. See how they do. Oh, he loaded up instead of firing, I guess. No, there he goes. Oh, nice. Even at long range, he got something like 60 kills in one shot. So we're gonna let this play out for a little while here. Of course, one of the things that happened at the Battle of Chantilly historically was that was the battle where General Kearney was killed for the Union. He was a very promising officer, a very experienced officer, a man who very likely would have been given command of the Union Army in the coming months had he not been killed at Chantilly. Stephen Kearney, I believe he had one arm. I think he might have lost the arm in the Mexican War. I could be wrong about that. Philip Kearney was who I'm thinking of. Stephen Kearney was a Mexican War officer. I believe he was Philip's uncle. Yeah, Philip took a grape shot wound to his arm at the Battle of Churubusco during the Mexican War. So this battle was actually fought during a pretty nasty thunderstorm. There's a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, thunder, and a lot of confusion on the battlefield. Philip Kearney actually ended up riding into a line of Confederate troops, and they demanded that he surrender, and he refused, and he turned around and tried to gallop off, and he was shot by a bullet that hit him in the hip and came out by his shoulder. So you can kind of almost picture him kind of leaning forward on his horse and trying to gallop away, and the bullet hitting him in the hip and then kind of coming out his shoulder and just kind of passing through all of his organs. And General A.P. Hill was actually nearby when Kearney was killed. And he rode upon the scene, and the quote was something like, "You've killed Phil Kearney, and he deserved a better fate than to die in the mud like this." General Lee returned his body to the Union soldiers with a note attached of condolence. He was one of those guys that just was very highly respected on both sides, and everybody thought a lot of him, not only as a man, but also for his ability as a soldier. My family and I are going to New York next week. My mother-in-law got my daughter tickets to a Broadway show that she's been wanting to see for her birthday, which is coming up in 2 weeks. So we're taking a couple of days away, so there might not be some videos for those couple of days, but there will be some videos shot in New York that I'll be adding to the collection of things visiting historic sites. So we're pretty excited about that. Philip Kearney's actually buried in New York City at Trinity Churchyard. I need to do some research to find out which one, because there are multiple Trinity churchyards. There's the one in Lower Manhattan that's right by the World Trade Center, which is where Alexander Hamilton is buried. And I've been to that one, but I don't remember seeing Kearney's grave there. So he may be buried in one of the others. So I'm getting low on ammo with a couple of these units, so I'm going to go ahead and get that dealt with, and then we'll start advancing and pushing him out of this position. I once was down by 5,000 men. I actually have a 1,000-man advantage now. I have lost 340 or so men, and I've taken out over 6,000 of his. So we can go ahead and advance, take this other objective back. Go ahead and get these guys restocked with ammo. Oh man, that is a huge battery. No wonder Cable's been losing some men. We need to go ahead and start hitting that thing. I think the 95th Rifles can handle this flank at this point. So we'll bring down the skirmishers to start hitting that battery as well. Oh, I think Cutler's going to be able to handle Robinson on his own here. Well, this 8-gun battery of siege guns is done really, really well. I've got 883 kills, and that's shooting from a distance. They didn't really have many opportunities to fire up close. So you can imagine what 12 of those guns will be able to do once I've got a full battery. We're going to come down and hit this other huge battery he's got here. I'm going to bring these guns up some, especially the 24-pounders. 24-pounders only have 61 kills just because they haven't been in range for most of the battle, because he didn't attack me over here. Once again, I want to get close. I want to try and hit that battery. We're going to start seeing some of these units get wiped out here pretty soon. I don't know why those guys are all the way over there. Now, the one thing about these siege guns that I didn't talk about is the ammo cost. Different types of weapons have more of an ammo cost, and I think these siege guns, it's pretty high. So that's why it's going to be important for me to raise the logistics level as much as possible, because ammo is going to get super expensive the further I go into this campaign. because like the sharpshooters, for example, their ammo is higher cost than a normal unit. So that could become an issue later on in the campaign if I don't deal with it effectively. But we can talk a little more about that as we go along. And I can look at that in camp and show you what I mean. Now, speaking of ammo, I guess we could go over and grab his. And while we're at it, we can nail this unit that's out here in the open. And then maybe come in and hit his artillery. Come on, guys. Oh, now I'm gonna hit this guy first. So we'll need to try and sneak around to hit the artillery, or hit the ammunition. There, we got the supplies. Now we'll finish Christoph. There, now our 24 pounders are getting some kills. Alright, at this point he's down to just 4,000 men. And I've still just lost about 500. There's Philip Kearney right there. Let's try to let him live this time, shall we? These guys are all in the woods, which makes hitting them with my cavalry a bit more difficult. There's 53 minutes to go. We just wiped out a couple more units. I think it's probably a safe time to do this. Grab the supplies. Looks like General Kearney might get away this time. That's fine. And that leaves, I believe, just these skirmishers left. That's it. Okay. Well, lost about 700 men, all told. Completely wiped out his army yet again. So you can see the need to switch up to Major General in this campaign. So I am playing through parallel to this while I'm going through these, and after we get through the Battle of Antietam, we will switch over to the Major General campaign. Nothing to report as far as officers go. So Cutler and Cable are big winners as far as kills. Fitzhugh, that's our siege guns. They had a really nice day. So the 10-pounders, sharpshooters, 1,000 kills, 0 deaths. Really nothing to complain about there. So we're going to be going into the weapons factory battle, which is Harper's Ferry next, and then Antietam, which should be a big one. So again, let me know your thoughts. Please drop a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you again soon with another battle. Thanks for watching.